Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to the 7 a.m. or whatever your time zone might be meditation. Um, Lovely to join you. Oh, there are bells, maybe there. So I am Nikki Mrigafori. I'm joining you from Tuscany, teaching the series on Sangha, on community, on Kalyanamitta, basically the relational aspect of the practice. And it's been a delight to join you from the other side of the pond. For actually, some of you are on this side of the pond. I see you're saying hello from various places in the world, including Europe. So very sweet to be together. So can't believe it's already Thursday. It's the fourth day of our practice together, and we've been covering, discussing the various aspects of Kalyanamitta, beautiful friendship, the different ways of being a good friend. How can we be a good friend and recognize good friendships instead of superficial friendships? And and today, I'd like to transition to both doing a practice and also later speaking about building bonds through the four means of embracing others from the Anguttara Nikaya 432. And this is from the Saṅgaha Sutta, which means san means together, ga means to hold, to gather, to grasp, which basically literally means to gather together, to support one another, to embrace one another. What are the ways to support, include, embrace, care for, gather, protect? There are different meanings that we can bring here. And these four ways, I'll say them because I'll bring them into the meditation. These four ways that are mentioned in this Saṅgaha Sutta, which by the way sounds like Sangha, right? Sangha Sutta, but Saṅgaha Sutta, ways to create social cohesion. These principles, these grounds for social cohesion and relational harmony are dana, generosity, giving, peyavaja, kind speech, affectionate speech, attacharya, beneficial action, service, and samanatata, samanatata, which is impartiality, equality, treating others fairly without bias, and in a humble, in a fair, equitable way, as equals. So these are the four principles that in this sutta that the Buddha talks about how they create, they are the principles for creating social cohesion, harmony, relational harmony. So in the guided meditation, I'd like to invite us after we get settled, of course, with our bodies into a sense of presence. I'll invite this feeling into each of these one by one as a member of the community, us as a Kalyanamitta, as how in my heart can I tune into these frequencies as if these old radios they had dials and and how can I tune into this frequency that is present in my heart to make it more audible, to make the song of generosity more audible, the song of kind speech more audible, etc., etc. So this is this is the invitation for this morning, this afternoon, whatever your time zone is. So with that in mind, let's begin. Let's settle. Let's settle and arrive. Let's settle and arrive in our bodies, arriving, arriving, every moment a new arrival. Can we let go of whatever was happening before? The thoughts, concerns, plans, all of that. Can we set it down? Can we release? Just for the period of this practice, giving our hearts fully, giving our hearts fully. And settling, relaxing the body, softening the body, relaxing the mind, relaxing the mind dependent on the body dependent on the mind. Relaxing our heart. Whatever is arising in this moment, softening, allowing it to be just as it is. Feeling the body in the seated position or lying down, whatever posture you have in this moment. Turning awareness inward, not outward, but inward. As if you're greeting yourself, greeting this body limb by limb. How are my feet? Hello, feet. Greeting, feeling, receiving. Can there be a sense of generosity with the body? Kind speech with the body. Even if there is pain, discomfort present, can there be still generosity, kindness, evenness of heart? The feet with the ankles, receiving the sensations of the knees kindly. The sit bones, inviting them to soften, to offer their weight to the earth. Inviting our chest to open, to relax. Our heart to put down its weight just for a moment, to release. Dear heart, it's okay. Our neck and shoulders to relax, to put down the proverbial weight of the world. Just for this little while. Can pick it all up later. Just taking refuge. Softening our brow, especially if it's furrowed usually. Greeting, softening. Allowing the breath to move through, settling, easing, soothing. Sensations, the in-breath and the out-breath. Where it's most accessible to be known. And as we're sitting, the sense of embodiment, feeling the breath, receiving the gift of this breath, the generosity of this life giving breath, we soften and land into a field of generosity that has supported us through our life, that we've been a part of, this giving and receiving. Allowing our heart to feel a little brighter, perhaps recollecting in our heart the sense of a recent act of generosity we've received, not just with money or resources or things, but maybe with time, with kindness, with a smile. With someone's care. Again, not making this into a thinking practice, but dropping this reflection into the heart, tuning into this frequency and allowing the heart to be uplifted. The more we tune into this frequency of generosity, the more we see it, and the more we act out of it ourselves. Perhaps now allowing ourselves to recollect some act of generosity, maybe a kind word, a smile, some time we spent, extra time caring for someone or resources, our material resources, stepping outside of ourselves, allowing our hearts to be uplifted by this act of generosity, dana. Any acts of giving or receiving with generosity of spirit, which can include giving, receiving graciously, kindness of speech, beneficial action, and an open heart, receiving others impartially, equally, or being received with openness. Any of these is enough, just sitting, tuning into this frequency, allowing your heart to feel bright, not making it too complicated. In breath, out breath. Very simple. Also, to say sometimes when we want to recollect goodness, the opposite could happen. All the challenging times or when we fell short might come up. It's okay. That can be a purifying practice. Bring kindness. Bring kindness to yourself if that's happening. And by bringing kindness, again, you're brightening the heart and mind. The more we tune to goodness, generosity, kindness, etc., the more we see it, we more act out of it. For the sake of ourselves and others. Keep it simple. In breath, out breath. And there be a sense of gratitude, appreciation for the acts of generosity of spirit, openness of heart. That this being who is you has received from another being or has offered to another being. Feeling into their appreciation, their gratitude, their brightness of heart. We have received and we have given so much goodness, so much goodness. Let it imbue your heart space, your mind space, your chitta, your mind heart space. and opening our hearts to the generosity and kindness of showing up to practice together as a community and appreciating yourself, this being who is me. Thank you for showing up, for aligning your actions with your intentions for goodness, wholeheartedness, cultivation, waking up. And if judgments are arising, oh, you're sleepy or distracted, thank you very much for your opinion, dear judgment, and let it go. It's okay. We don't have to believe every thought we have. And bringing gratitude, appreciation to ourselves for our own generosity and kindness, for the benefit of all beings. May all beings be happy. May all beings know their own goodness, engage in generosity of spirit, receive generosity of spirit. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your practice. Now, it's nice to have the church bell and also the song of the birds, as you can hear them in the background. So appreciate sitting with you, practicing together. This earth feels like a cozier place as we come together in this way, in this community, in this Sangha, this worldwide Sangha. How beautiful it is. So I'll take a pause for the transition. Oh, I think there was one bell, right? Somebody said no bells for me. I thought there was one bell, which hopefully you heard. Maybe not. Hopefully there will be more bells later. Let's see. I can't control the bells here, the church bells. They come and they go. So here we go. It's like the yeah, so many conditions in life. So today, as we continue with our series um, on community, on friendship, on noble friendship, spiritual friendship, Kalyanamitta, on Sangha, really this relational aspect of the practice, which the Buddha has said, Sangha is all of the path. It's not just half of the path. It's the entirety of the path. Is friendship, spiritual friendship, is support of like-hearted, like-minded, like-hearted practitioners. So, continuing in this theme today, I'd like to talk about um, what I mentioned a bit earlier. This sutta from the Anguttara Nikaya 432, which is called the Sangha Sutta. Sangha Sutta. The Sangha Sutta, excuse me, is san again, meaning together, ga, to grasp, to hold together, literally means gathering together, embracing, supporting. These are the four means of inclusion, embracing, supporting, care, gathering, protecting, etc. And in this sutta, the Buddha says, these are the four means by which one sustains and gathers people together. And the Saṅgaha here refers to the principles and grounds for social cohesion and relational harmony. It's what glues, it's what binds a Sangha together. It's the ethical, emotional glue that binds any group together. Trust, fairness, care, service. It's what binds us together as humans, as communities. And the different teachers, by the way, different translators have translated these four, have given them different titles. The phrase in Pali is Saṅgaha Vatuni, and Bhikkhu Bodhi says the four bases of social solidarity. Thanissaro Bhikkhu says the four grounds for embracing others. I like embracing; there's a sweetness to it. Um, Sometimes in the Mahayana context, this shows up as the four means of gathering. And an interpretive one is four ways of creating unity. And a less common translation is the four means of support. So just to give you nuances of these four. These four are generosity, dana, kind speech, peyavaja, beneficial action, service, acting helpfully, aiding others, supporting others, is attacharya. And the fourth one is impartiality, equality, participation. The Pali word is samanata, which is relating to others out of, without pride or bias, being humble, being fair, being open, inclusive. So I like to say a little bit about each of these because, again, so important. Communities, friendships, relationships don't happen out of happenstance. They take deliberate, conscious, intentional action to foster a community, a sangha. It could be a sangha of two, sangha of three, it could be a sangha of hundreds, as we have here. So the first and the foremost, as mentioned, and also, by the way, in the guided meditation, I mentioned them briefly. And I also mentioned generosity of spirit, because in many ways we can think of generosity of spirit really capturing all four of them. When there's generosity of spirit, there's also generosity in action with our resources. There is kindness in speech. There is acts of service, support, and there's also this seeing others as equal, embracing others, not with pride or looking down upon anyone, but there's a generosity of spirit, has humility as a part of it. So I like that as a shorthand, and yet we're going to unpack each of them a little more in the time allowed. So generosity, dana. The Buddha says in this Saṅgaha Sutta, Anguttara 432, through giving, one wins the affection of others. And generosity is not transactional here, of course. It's a fundamental relinquishment of clinging that opens the heart. Imagine opening the hand, it opens the heart and it nurtures the field of relationship, of friendship. And this act of relinquishment, opening the hand, letting go, is is the same act of generosity. The hand that lets go of something can give it to someone else. Can also, it's also the same act of letting go of what we're clinging to, or maybe even resentments, etc. It's the same liberating act of opening the hand, of letting go, of softening our grip. And and there is modern psychological research that acts of giving, generosity, when we are generous ourselves, it activates the reward system in our brain, in our bodies, the reward system promoting happiness and social bonding. So generosity literally brightens the mind, literally lights up the mind, and strengthens social ties. A few words about kind speech, peyavaja, um, as relational nourishment. The Buddha says, through kind speech, one binds our others to oneself. I love the way he puts that. Through kind speech, one binds others to oneself. And kind speech, again, I think I spoke some some time ago in these series about wise speech, and can expand it to a whole week. So there's a lot of teachings on wise speech and kind speech. But it also includes truthfulness, timeliness, and it being beneficial from Majjhima Nikaya 58, and also speech that is gentle, pleasing to the ear, affectionate, etc., agreeable to many from Anguttara Nikaya 5198. So there's a lot about wise speech and kind speech. Uh, and first and foremost, right, to be truthful, timely, kind. And um, yeah, there's so much to say about speech. So I'm just going to mention very little here in saying that, of course, kind speech, wise speech, beneficial speech, timely speech, truthful speech, it as the Buddha says, I can't say it any more beautifully than he has. It one binds others to oneself. One binds others to oneself. So kind speech strengthens trust and communal bonds. A few words about the next of these four, the third one, which is called beneficial conduct, which is attacharya. Attacharya. There's the last is long. Attacharya, which is the grounds of goodwill uh, in action. And the Buddha, again, in the Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya 432 says, through acting for others' welfare, one endears oneself. So it's such a beautiful way that he's talking about, right? We're both being of service to others, as well as there's benefit to oneself and others through these acts of welfare for the sake of others. And these acts of welfare, of course, include offering help in the times of need, emotional or psychological support, um, actions that arise from compassion and non harming, and often described as karuna in action, compassion that moves. And there's so many Jataka tales. And Jataka tales are the stories of before the Buddha became a Buddha, he was reborn as so many different animals. And in every lifetime, uh, when he was a bodhisattva, he had this vow of awakening. There's so many stories. He offered limbs and lives and time and effort and energy to the welfare of others. And of course, his teaching has been an act of care, and for the welfare of others. It is said that after he awakened under the Bodhi tree, he didn't want to teach because he thought nobody would get it. It's so obtuse what he teaches, and out of compassion, out of care for the benefit of others, he took on the difficulty of being misunderstood, and all the stories in the suttas of teaching. So, and there's also, of course, modern research which aligns with this, that helping behavior predicts increased relational satisfaction and trust. And there's research by Algo and Jonathan Haidt uh, that supports that acts of service build deep reservoir of mutual goodwill. And the last one, I'll say it very quickly, impartiality, which is samanatata, fostering respect. The Buddha says through treating others equally, one dissolves divisions. Through treating others equally, one dissolves divisions. So here the idea is having a stance of humility, which is free from superiority, conceit, favoritism, and being even minded with upekkha, with equanimity, and unshaken by social status and blame and gain, and treating others, basically breaking barriers of hierarchy and fear, and treating others. And Buddha demonstrated this by treating kings, untouchables, monks, lay people with the same basic respect and presence. So, can we treat one another and other people we meet with the same basic respect and presence? In fact, I'll just add something very quickly here. In this village that I am in Tuscany, this friend of mine here was commenting that what is so beautiful here in this village, the barista at the coffee shop is treated with the same level of respect as anybody else in town. And that's really uplifting to really see that in a small village, in this small community. So, three reflection questions today again. Which of the four relational practices that I mentioned are most alive in me today? Which of the four relational practices are most alive in me today? Where could practicing one of these transform a strained or a stagnant relationship? Where could practicing one of these transform a strained or stagnant relationship? And lastly, do I offer these to all or only to those I already prefer? Do I offer these to all or only those I already prefer? So, again, which of the four of these is more alive in me today? Um, where could practicing one of these transform a strained or a stagnant relationship? For example, is there a challenging relationship that by bringing more generosity, by giving that person a gift, could open my heart, will open their heart without any expectation of return at all, but just to open my heart and give them a gift? And do I offer these all to everyone equally or only those I prefer? So, so thank you all. Thank you for your presence, your generosity of presence to hold together, to hold each other in this way, in this community, and wishing you well, wishing you ease. And I'm waiting for the bell. Sometimes we have bells here at a quarter to the hour, quarter to 5 p.m., but apparently not today. We had them yesterday. Oh, well, it is what it is. So, wishing you well, everyone. May you be well. May you be happy. And looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for the for the Denimo, for the end of our series on Sangha. Take care of yourselves and be a good friend to someone today. Okay, take care. Bye, everyone.